Welcome back, everybody, to TV Sports 27. It is time for the Week 2 RXFL wrap-up show. Our main guy, Alpha Sapphire, in the house. Been chatting up with us here today. Happy to have him aboard. We're going to look at all the scores for week number 2. We're going to get you all previewed and set for week number 3 in the RXFL and see what big games we got coming your way. We'll look at some stats. We'll look at some news as well. But let's look at what happened in what was a crazy week of week number 2. And if there's any games that kind of jump out, like notable games that jump out, we'll jump in and we will look at the stats a little bit further. Yes, let's go RXFL, right? Let's do this thing. Okay. So we had and unfortunately they don't show you, we'll look at the standings. I wish they would show you the standings on this screen so you kind of knew what's going on here. But the Atlanta Dirty Birds, Tom Brady hangs in there, gets the win over the Memphis Egyptians. We had the Toronto Huskies taking the L, losing to the New York Slashers. So let's see what happened in this one. We had Fran Tarkenton who went off. Man, how about a battle of quarterbacks, similar style quarterbacks, but of two completely different eras. Wow, Alpha's getting hyped up on the woo energy, or maybe the woo wings. But Fran Tarkenton and Lamar Jackson, two very similar core. I mean, look at this. Lamar Jackson, 6'2", Tarkenton, 6 foot, 200 pounds, 212. Identical playing styles of a completely different era. Tarkenton, that's kind of a dream match right there. They give the Huskies their first loss of the season. So how about the New York Slashers right there? Mexico City in a low-scoring game with Patrick Mahomes and the Brooklyn Beats. 10-7 gets the win. The Columbus Aviators, they get the win 35-24 over the Orlando Wizards. The Battle of Chicago. How about the Chicago Cougars knocking off the Chicago Wolverines? So a slow start to the season here for the Chicago Wolverines, who were pretty darn dominant last season. The Austin Armadillos get past the Tennessee Oilers 27-17. Dublin, they get the win, so they bounce back after the loss to the Huskies. They knock off the New England Nightmare. We have the St. Louis Rhinos, the defending National Conference champions, putting up 38 on the Pittsburgh Sting. Look at this contest. The San Francisco Demons getting the win over the San Diego Aftershock. Let's see what we had in this one. This was Warren Moon and Randall Cunningham going at it, and Warren Moon arguably the better numbers in that one. Cunningham, and you see Gale Sayers, kind of what they did on the ground. So numbers not too crazy, kind of not what I was expecting there, but the win nonetheless for the Demons. The Lumberjacks, that's a battle, man. Lumberjacks getting their first win of the year. Russell Wilson goes for 372 yards. My God. And Johnny Unitas had a very nice day. He's trying to bounce back from the rough season that the North Florida Cheetahs had last season. So the Cheetahs take the L in that one. They will drop to 1-1, but a competitive game with the Portland Lumberjacks, who get their first win. The Oklahoma City Bandits. Yes, we're renaming a lot of the teams to what we were naming them before. I know we kind of have to use make-believe because this is Madden. They don't let you name your own teams, but it's the Oklahoma City Bandits, and they got the win over the LA Kiss. It's the LA Kiss and the Oklahoma City Bandits in that one. Another rename here, the Salt Lake City Fury. They take the L, only get 9 points on the board as they lose to the Sacramento Redwoods. Now, they're the Sacramento Spiders in my previous in NFL 2K5, but this doesn't really look like a spider, so I don't know if we can rename them the Spider or not. Hey, everyone, go check out Alpha Sapphire's stream. Everyone head over because we're going to be ending this one in a little bit, and we're going to be heading to Patreon, so make sure you guys show some love to Alpha Sapphire there. But what do you guys think? Can the spiders, does that work for spiders? Does that look, I don't know, maybe not. There's an R, so what could it be? But the Salt Lake City Fury take the loss to the the Redwoods. The Houston Voyagers with the win over the Las Vegas Firebirds. The Firebirds continue their struggle there. Tampa Bay Mutiny get the win over the Dallas Desperados. I'm debating of what we want to call the Dallas Desperados because now that we're playing arena football again, We now have two arena football team names in the Dallas Desperados and the LA Kiss. So I don't know. What should we rename? If you guys have any suggestions for what we would rename the Dallas team, let me know in the comments. But for right now, we'll keep it the Dallas Desperados, but we can make them set it up there. And then Battle of London, you guys saw, and this was our Patreon game. So make sure you guys head on over to Patreon to check that out. How did you set up your chat overlay? Just using OBS. I don't remember, honestly, what website I used, but I used a website where it kind of had the preset coding, whatnot, and I was able to go in and change the colors and do everything. Dallas Outlaws? That could be interesting. Has there been a Dallas Outlaws anywhere? We have the Bandits, so that would be like a rivalry, the Outlaws and the Bandits. What other outlaw? I know like Arena Football's got the Billings Outlaws coming up. We have the Denver Outlaws. Actually, Outlaws we had the Minneapolis, the Minnesota Outlaws was from our previous league that we had. Outlaws could be interesting. Let's look. Let's look up Dallas Outlaws. Because Outlaws and Bandits would be, Dallas and Oklahoma. That'd be kind of interesting. So searching Dallas Outlaws, there's a nonprofit organization called the Dallas Outlaws. There is, what the heck is this one? There's a Texas Outlaws, which is some soccer team. What is this Dallas Outlaws or something on? There's a indoor football team named the Dallas Outlaws that are playing in one of the smallest arenas I've ever seen. So this must be, it's still pretty cool. Like anything local, I'm not taking and tearing them up or anything, but it's just kind of wild because this is a very tiny arena. But okay, something rebellious. They were the Vigilantes before in arena football. If we wanted to get rid of the Desperados, we can bring back the Dallas Vigilantes. I do like Dallas Outlaws, though. And I'm not seeing other than, that very small indoor football. Let's see. Any other... Oh, I just, backed out of it. They could be the Dallas Rebels. Would that be? I know, we got there's Texas Outlaws, which is a soccer team in the Dallas Fort Worth area, but they play in Mesquite, Texas. So we could do that. It could be borrowing a little bit from that. There's an amateur baseball team called the Dallas Outlaws. I'm kind of digging. I don't know. I'm kind of digging. The Dallas Outlaws. Dallas Outlaws, like I said, Vigilantes was one of the arena. What were some of the other old arena team names, like those crazy names that we had? The Dallas teams. The Houston Thunder Bears we had in the Arena League. Dallas Rebels could be good. We'll put it to a vote. Think about it. Think about it, Alpha Sapphire. I'll let you be the deciding vote. Rebels or Outlaws. You'll be the deciding vote. So, okay. So we will look at standings here. We are going to look at standings so you can see where everything is matching up as far as in the RXFL. We'll go division by division. So, boy, how about this? This is what we thought we were going to see a year ago. The London Bulldogs on top with the Monarchs, Brooklyn, and Pittsburgh. In the American South, Armadillos and the Voyagers are at 2-0 apiece. The New York Slashers are in first place at 2-0. Up in the East over the Huskies, the Celtic Tigers, and the New England Nightmare. And out west, it is the Oklahoma City Bandits at 1-1, Sacramento Redwoods at 1-1, the LA Kiss at 1-1, and the Salt Lake City Fury 0-2. In the north, Chicago Cougars, Chicago Wolverines, Mexico City Golden Eagles, and the St. Louis Rhinos. So Outlaws. Alpha Sapphire says Outlaws, so it's going to be officially the Dallas Outlaws going forward. I like it. A little, we'll get another little XFL name in here too. because I've been debating the San Francisco name as well, because the original name when we played this before in our old Madden was the San Francisco Aztecs. So I've been debating Aztecs or Demons. I've been doing the Demons, but could be up. Enforcers as well. That's another XFL team, the Enforcers. So anyway, so all tied up in the North. In the South, Dirty Birds, Egyptians, and the Mutiny all at 1-1. Wizards at 0-2. The OG owner, that pretty cool. There you go. Fun fact. Alpha Sapphire hitting us with the fun facts down below. Benjamins and the Aviators. Now debating this one too, because in All Pro 2K8 they were the Columbus Crusaders, but I do like the name Aviators. So I've been going with that. Of course, now the San Antonio Dragons and the Dallas Outlaws. So Philadelphia Benjamins, Aviators, Crusaders. Let me know. What do you guys think? I like Aviators, but they were the Crusaders previous to that, Columbus Crusaders. And out west, San Francisco Demons at 2-0. The Las Vegas Firebirds at 1-1. San Diego Aftershock at 1-1. And the Portland Lumberjacks at 1-1. So that is where everything is sitting. Let's see if there's any kind of big news that we can see coming across the way here. Tom Brady, they're talking about the Beats and Celtic. Any other big this week? Underdogs. Not really seeing kind of any big news that is jumping out to me yet. They're mainly just talking about this week. There's some of the comments from some of the coaches here. Matt LaFleur and Matt Patricia and all that. Huge day for Fran Tarkenton. So you can kind of see. And now let's take a look at what games we are going to get in week number 3. Now, again, through the first half of the season, we are going to do a Thursday night game, which is on Patreon, and then a game of the week. When we get to the second half of the season, we're going to add a second game of the week, which is going to be the Monday night game, unless there's a better game to flex out the Monday night game. So to start, your guaranteed Patreon exclusive is going to be Lamar Jackson and the Toronto Huskies, the defending league champions, hitting the road, going to Foxborough to take on the New England Nightmare. So the New England Nightmare and the Toronto Huskies. New England 0-2. They were really bad last season, so I don't know if poor Belichick's coaching them again. But the Nightmare and the Huskies, we're going to record that one right after this stream. It'll be uploaded exclusively for our Patreon members. So sign up at any level that you like, and you'll get all of that exclusive content that we are filming as an exclusive. Patreon.com/TBSports27 if you guys want to get the Huskies and the New England Nightmare. So be on the lookout for that. Now, as far as our game of the week game that we're going to do, let's see what we got. Let's look at the list here. We got Dragons and Mutiny. We got Demons and Armadillos. That could be fairly interesting because the Demons are undefeated. Of course, the Armadillos, one of the top teams in the league with Michael Vick last season. Michael Vick was the league MVP last season. Aftershock Cougars. Redwoods, the Slashers are doing good here. TB, if you want to change every team, I think there's an option to own. I actually am doing that. That was the only way I was able to relocate is I had to control all 32 teams. That's why I'm playing with both controllers when I play, because that was the only way to do it. Same thing when I play on 2K5 with the Washington Commanders. The only way I can change the uniforms was by controlling all the teams. And that's why we're doing the kind of weird thing, but also kind of fun and kind of different, where we're not doing any front office changes because there is a big bad glitch in 2K5 where in the draft, they won't draft like quarterbacks or running backs or anything in the first round. So it's really easy to like build a dynasty if you know like how the CPU is going to be. So I made it where I just controlled all the teams. That lets me change the uniforms in that game. And I pretty much set it where the computer makes all the changes. So that's why we had the situation with Mark Bolger and JP Lossman where I let the game decide. So it's kind of like a fun twist where we're playing a franchise mode, but we're letting the game make all the changes for us, and we really don't have control. So it's kind of a fun little thing there. Voyagers, that one could be interesting considering not only did North Florida win in week 1, but they had a really close game in week 2 with London being undefeated. The Kiss and the Benjamins, the Egyptians and the Wolverines, Firebirds and the Wizards, the Fury and the Outlaws, Aviators, Lancers, Beats and Tigers, Tom Brady and the Dirty Birds against Mexico City, and Portland. I think, man, I almost think looking at the schedule, because that would be I feel like the better game, the game of the week game, is going to be the Armadillos and the Demons. But I think if we had to realistically look at the schedule, this was the conference championship from a season ago. It was 15-1 Portland that got upset and eliminated by the St. Louis Rhinos. So I think if we were looking at this realistically, scheduling wise, they would schedule this game because of that fact. I encourage you guys to go look in the archives and watch that game from before, but the Lumberjacks and the Rhinos playing in the conference championship last season. I'm going to look it up real quick as well while we're here with you guys, winding this one out. Kind of a loosely... Oh, I'm on my VOD. Let's see. We get any new subs? No new subs. We got a new video that dropped today on the channel. Man, my 2K, the numbers on the 2K videos keep going up and up. Maybe I just need to play. I'm trying to see if we can get 9 more Patreon signups to get a second season of 2K, but I might just have to break down and do it because the numbers on 2K5 are like going crazy, skyrocketing. People really like that, which is why it's kind of making me almost want to play some of the older games on the channel. But yeah, last season it was Toronto and Sacramento on the American side, and on the national side it was the Lumberjacks and the Rhinos. So I think realistically the best game would probably be the Demons and the Armadillos, but I think realistically schedule makers, if you're picking a game of the week, you're looking at a rematch from last year's conference championship. So that is what we're going to do. All right, guys, head on over patreon.com/TBSports27. Huskies and Nightmare are coming your way. Alpha Sapphire, thanks so much for joining us as always and hanging out with us here on TB Sports 27. Don't forget to subscribe. Follow along with us on Twitch so you can be a part of the conversation like Alpha Sapphire is all the time. Awesome guy. Go check him out. He's about to do some streaming himself. And head on over to Patreon. The defending champion Huskies and the New England Nightmare about to go at it. And then we got a game of the week coming up in the RXFL with the Lumberjacks and the Rhinos. Thanks for tuning in, as always, everyone. And we'll catch you guys next time on TB Sports.